Hail, well met. Welcome to episode 6 of the Twilight of the Realms. I'm joined here by 3 of our primary main players and 1 special guest, and I'll let her introduce herself. But first, I'll introduce myself. I am Eric Scott DeBay, the DM of this campaign, original founding member of the Dungeon Scrawlers, writer, game designer, etc. You could find my stuff online. ericscottdb.com will have my bibliography. You can find my stuff on Amazon, wherever you go look. I want to tell you about our dice partners, unless Cora is prepared to talk about the dice partners this week. She's offering me no sign of acknowledgement. So
I think the nervous laugh was
we have two dice partners. One is Norse Foundry, that specializes in metal dice that feel like you're smashing the armor of the monster horde rather than a puny little plastic weapon. You have a big, beefy metal weapon that will dent your table and or hurt your foot if you misroll it. So be careful and always use a dice tray. And our other dice partner is Phoenix Dice, named after the creature that rises from the ashes for a new life. Phoenix Dice are created from all recycled materials. They're constantly using new materials as well. Give their website a check and see what's going on. You can find discounts on both of those sites down in the doobly-doo below. And with that, take it away, Allie. Allie, you're muted. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. You know what? It's a thing. Somebody does it once a stream. It happens.
We call it pulling a Steven.
Yeah, pulling a Steven, pulling a Sturd, whatever.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alexander Pitchford, or Ali for short. I'm an author, game designer, and TTRPG streamer, and I am playing Shay Darksong, a crime boss in Westgate, half vampire, potentially the right hand of Illyra Nathlin and the wife thereof, and also very sad, very, very sad right now.
Yep. For lots of reasons.
Oh, so many reasons.
But one reason primarily.
Yeah. I'd also like to tell you about one of our sponsors today. And that's going to be Idle Champions. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons & Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida, Havilar, and Mehen from the Brimstone Angels novels. And someone pointed out recently they haven't added a novel character in a very long time. I think they should, but that's just me. The game is available.
If you agree, mention that in the chat.
Mention it in the chat. Maybe send them a few emails. Just don't tell them we sent you. Anyway, the game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Web, Epic Game Store, Google Play, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. You may notice a console missing in there because I was told apparently that they discontinued support for Nintendo Switch like a year ago, and we've been doing this ad read with it in there the entire time. So, for more information, like the information that we didn't get, check out idlechampions.com.
Sorry, Switch users. It's still a great game, and you should definitely play it when you get the chance. And if you are here from Idle Champions, because there's a code, go use the code to get yourself a cool chest. And if you find something cool, let us know.
And if you're here because you work for Idle Champions, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
If you're here because you work for Idle Champions, we appreciate you. Thank you for sponsoring us.
We do actually appreciate you. I'm just being a shit.
Good work on the game. All right, take it away, Cora.
Hi, my name is Cora. I don't have anything in particular to promote right now. I am playing Callista, the Fey-scarred ranger, who is currently really questioning what she's gotten herself into and who she's fallen in with. So I'm excited to see how that turns out.
All right, Jen.
Hello, I'm Jen. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet, and savagesparrow.com is my super cool website where you can level up your look on and off the table with cool products. I am playing Ilmarin tonight, the drow aberrant mind Sorkadin, who spent last game questioning her own reality, which I'm sure is fine. We're gonna just move along and everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't come up again. And our very special guest, who some of you may know and have recognized from her wonderful RPing in the past, and that is Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda Cherry. I'm tonight's guest. I promise I am not all that special. I am going to be playing Vane, Lady Blackblade, who I don't know that much about yet, and so you're going to meet her alongside me. I do know one thing, and that is what she wants most, and I'm not going to tell these people because that would be revealing too much of her character to these near strangers and people that she's hooked up with once or twice in the past. So yeah, this character is a fighter and a wizard and has more hit points than I have ever seen on a character sheet before. And this is all completely new to me mechanically. I've never played a character with a personality like this. I've never played a character with a stat sheet like this. So we're all gonna have fun together, and I promise you're laughing with me.
We threw Amanda into the deep end because I know she likes a challenge. So thank you for joining us, Amanda, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, so when last we left our intrepid heroes, they had been interrogating a Shatterkai who was in the city searching for a prince of shade. Specifically, the truth came out, and it seemed that they were going to release him to continue his search, or just go back to wherever he came from and call everything good, essentially. But tragedy befell, and his murdered corpse is in the soundproofed interrogation room in the Purple Lady. Shay recently, at the very end of the session, discovered that corpse and was calling out for Callista, but she was tragically trapped in that soundproof room, which is warded against sound. It's not just the construction of the room itself. No voices from inside the room can go out of the room. So Callista did not hear her. Instead, Callista is heading down to the bar at the Purple Lady and thinking to herself, processing everything that has happened in the recent days. Now, Callista tends to play things, she plays her cards close to the vest rather than these other characters who are a little more forthcoming with their problems and issues. Callista, well, there's only so long you can keep things bottled up. Callista, you are headed down to the bar. It is getting on into the evening, and the crowd is starting to come in for dance and drink and revelry. I don't want to say nondescript folk, but just kind of normal folk. Like they're gussied up, they're dressed well for the event, they're out clubbing essentially. People trying to make connections, make friends, make potential love matches, make potential bed matches, all that sort of thing. There is, however, one person who really stands out as being out of place here in the Purple Lady. And perhaps it is because you recently fought some Shatterkai that your attention is drawn to this woman. She is sitting at, well, her own booth, dressed very darkly, and a bit scantily, covered in tattoos, piercings, dark hair, kind of grayish skin, and with jet black eyes. She looks like she is definitely a Shatterkai, but different from the ones that you faced. She's perhaps more flamboyant, if you will, more forward presenting. And the others were very like, I hide and creep in the shadows. And she's more what you'd call your fashion show-off goth sort of character.
Okay.
I'm not like other girls.
There you go. There it is. And what is Vane drinking, Amanda?
Like the deepest, darkest, reddest wine, the most like unctuous, earthy. Some people would think of it as undrinkable. Red, like blood.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
plenty
so
of that.
Needs to be further aerated, but like probably not gonna be.
This viscous red wine in a crystal goblet. Now, you do know that most of the drinks of the Purple Lady are not served in crystal because crystal is expensive and, cups get dropped and broken all the time. This woman, however, if she has a crystal goblet, that suggests that she is a high-class sort of patron. Vane, you see this woman descend from the stairs up to the back rooms. Cora, would you describe Callista briefly for us and what she looks like emotionally at the moment as well?
So Callista is human, on the taller side for human, but human, tanned, black hair that's mostly to one side with some kind of braids on it. She has an eye patch that hides one eye with a scar across where her eye probably is no longer located. Dressed in studded leather armors with a very unusual cloak that has kind of a strange black sheen to it, similar to the fur of a displacer beast. And she has a rapier on one hip and a scimitar on the other, definitely an unusual weapon combination. And she just looks very ready to focus on the bar and grab a drink.
Vane, this woman is definitely the most interesting person you've seen here in the Purple Lady tonight. And you can feel the emotional pain and uncertainty just flowing off of this woman, even if she's clearly trying to hold it together.
I'm gonna attempt to make eye contact.
Okay. The jet black eyes focus upon you, Callista.
And Callista will just kind of stop, look back with her one eye, and just kind of get this expression of resignation before walking over.
Yeah, it's definitely like the Joey Tribbiani. Like, you can sit with us. On Wednesdays, we wear studded armor.
Beautiful. So she'll just kind of settle into the booth opposite.
Okay, great. The Shatterkai woman has two swords, both of which are they're scabbarded and they're both lightly curved. One slightly more curved than the other. And she does not seem to be wearing any armor. She's barely wearing any clothes, actually. Y'all can see the art. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm hoping you're not here to kill us as well.
I'm not in the murder business at the moment. What are you drinking?
Whatever's strongest at the moment, I think.
I will get someone's attention.
Oh, yes. A serving lad comes over. And all the servers at the Purple Lady are very attractive and in very good shape and dress in these kind of like gauzy, somewhat diaphanous purple sort of suits. Like a see-through shirt, except that it's purple. And he is obviously somewhat taken with Vane here, and he's like, "Oh yes, can I get you something else, Lady Blackblade?"
Drink from my companion here.
Oh, of course. Yeah, he didn't even notice Callista was there, which might be a function of Callista's natural kind of like blending in with places, or might be a function of Vane's glamour. But either way, he's like, "Oh yes, what can I get you, Lady Ranger?" You are
Something
the ranger,
strong.
right?
Yes.
Perfect. Something strong. All right.
Make it a double.
Of course. And he heads back.
So then
You're up. No, you first.
May I ask why you wanted my attention?
You can ask.
You don't intend to answer.
Indeed.
Fair enough. I appreciate the drink.
Anytime. You in town on business?
Yes.
That business happened to be murder? You presumed mine must be?
Certainly, but not me, I'm not the one committing it.
So,
Isn't that what they all say?
so Vane, you have heard that there's been a spate of murders in the city, and there was a big explosion in the Temple District the previous evening, while Vane was up to her own debauchery and explosions of her own. Apparently a lot of people were killed, including the head priests of 2 different temples. You're not really sure which ones they are. Like, Vane has a complicated relationship with religion, right? But you know that there have been murders recently, so maybe this woman is looking into it. The server comes back with a glass tumbler. With a thick red, kind of amber red liquid, 3 fingers, and puts it in front of Callista.
Thank you.
He says, "Of course." He tries, fails to get Vane's attention, and then heads away.
My attention is entirely on the glass.
Oh yeah.
Which Callista just downs.
Okay, it is dusky and smoky and very strong. Callista, make a Constitution saving throw, please.
That is a 10.
Callista, you are feeling a little tipsy
Excellent.
just from that one drink. Just wow. Okay.
And I am signaling the waiter to bring her another one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, he does. He's like, oh yeah, of course. Did you see how she looked at me? Yeah. Anyway.
You know. But I'm not being too generous, even though it's a work night. I said, is it a work night? Am I being too generous with the libations?
Certainly not too generous.
Good.
Every night's a work night, so drink what I can when I can.
Words to live by.
Okay, the second drink comes. It is, again, 3 fingers of that same smoky, dark, powerful liquor.
And this time, it's like Callista goes to drink it. She drinks it a little more slowly, but she still does so in one go. Like, she savors it, but she's downing it.
Okay. It tastes like the campfire at some of your best rest periods, like the fellowship around the campfire, even with people that you don't particularly know very well, but you have instant chemistry with. That's what it tastes like.
So it's like if Ardbeg Alligator was like a zillion proof.
There you go.
See, now I want scotch.
Yeah.
And then she'll set the glass down.
And I will make sure another one shows up. I'm getting this girl drunk. That's what we're doing.
Oh yeah. Callista, get another Constitution save. You get advantage this time because you took your time. the drink?
18 for that one.
Okay, you're holding it together. All right. Meanwhile, in the back rooms, Ilmarin and Shay. Ilmarin, you feel a sudden psychic burst of just raw emotional distress coming from Shay, who you are still psychically linked to.
Yeah.
Like, you never really closed down that bond, so you still have it sort of open, and just like it's this overwhelming. Why don't you describe exactly how you feel, Allie? How does Shay feel about this horror that she has discovered?
Oh, she feels shock. There's a little bit of horror. I mean, she's seen in her time, she's seen her fair share of dead bodies, but this is definitely a lot more gruesome than she's accustomed to. So there's some horror there. There's also, with the smell of blood in the room, there's a tinge of hunger that she's fighting off.
So that's what you feel, Imlarin. And it interrupts your conversation with Sorrow, who is kind of like, she's kind of clutching at her stomach, like, oh, maybe that mystery meat wasn't the right choice. Oh,
all three sticks of it.
I need to lie down. And she goes over to the bed and she's onto the bed.
Okay.
I'm fine. I'll be fine.
Okay. Ilmarin will like honestly happy enough to get out of talking about the things she doesn't want to talk about. Will go towards the distress and give a shout of well, wait, is the bar open for business?
It is, but
Okay.
very few people are in the back rooms back here.
Okay.
You do see a couple coming this way. Like, when you head out the door, two people just kind of giggling with each other.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we can introduce a little bit of heterosexuality into this story. Like, they're a man and a woman.
I
Hey,
guess if we have to.
just as a treat.
For diversity.
For diversity's sake.
For diversity. It's a token gesture, but it works.
Right? I mean, we are committed to DEI on this channel.
Token straight couple is coming down the hallway.
Bless them.
They don't seem all that interested in you.
Okay.
They seem more interested in each other.
Baron's just like, all right.
And Marin's like, I don't really get it, but okay.
Yeah.
So you don't know exactly where Shay is, but you can follow the psychic trail of this bond that you have.
Yeah.
Much like you did before when you found them before.
She would use message and be like, show me where you are.
All right. Shay will, like, at this time, since she is fully in command of her faculties, will send an image of the door to that kind of secret silent room, and then I think she'll leave the image of the gruesome body out of it for the moment.
Yeah, just let her be surprised. It's fine. Yeah, between the psychic trail and the image that Shay sends you, you can find the secret door, which, even though you've never been in this room before, it is slightly ajar still.
Yeah.
But there's clearly some kind of ward that stops noise from escaping that room.
Okay.
Which might explain why you haven't heard anything.
Before entering the room, she would send a message to Callista. That's basically, something's up. I think Shay's in trouble. Image of room.
Okay, Cora, take note of that message, which you will receive about when you're having your second drink. Okay, so Ilmarin, are you going to head in?
Yes.
All right, so you cautiously open
And
up the
she-
door.
She's just like got like a flame of something ready.
Okay, and you come upon Shay standing over a eviscerated, dead Shatterkai. Like his throat is open, like torn open, and there's blood everywhere. And he's just this like he's slumped against the wall, and on the floor next to his hand, written in his own blood, is one word, and that word is Manshoon.
Seems our friend
That's
met with a bit of
above.
a. Seems our friend met with a bit of an accident.
If you think this is accident, I deeply question where you grew up, because
It's called sarcasm.
Has Shay
in Branson, the word accident tends to look accidental.
has Shay cleaned herself up from the attack earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Like her face and stuff. I don't think she's changed
Yeah.
clothes, so like the front
Okay.
of her outfit is still
Yeah.
like old
Yeah.
blood, but
Okay.
Well, we
So
specifically had the scene where like Ilmarin was helping her clean up.
there was like some tender sponging,
Yeah.
that kind of action. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shay doesn't look like she just, ripped this guy's
Yeah.
throat out and fed on him.
Yeah.
But she is standing over the body, and her shadow is against the wall, kind of like shifting pensively back and forth, even though Shay is not moving herself.
Can I? Yeah. So, Ilmarin would sort of like take in all the everything, just kind of okay, and then kind of look at the word and be like, "Does that mean anything to you?"
She's not from
unfortunately,
around here.
yeah. To which Shay just says, "Unfortunately, yes."
Would you
Have
care
you
to
ever-
elaborate?
Have you ever heard of a criminal organization called the Zentarim?
Have I, GM?
Make a history check.
Well,
Okay. Yes. You don't know very much detail about them, however. Ilmarin is not from the surface. She is from Menza Baranzan,
yes.
and she's more up to snuff on drow politics. And if somebody mentioned House Bainra, you would definitely know what that was. If somebody mentioned Brig and Dareth, you would definitely know what that was. If somebody mentioned House Mizrim, you would probably know what that was. If somebody mentions the Zentarim, you're like, I have heard that name before, but I don't really know what it means.
I have heard of them, but I cannot say anything beyond that.
They're a criminal organization with their claws in just about everything from here to the Sword Coast. And unfortunately, and she'll look at the, her arms are crossed as she's standing over this body, and she just looks at the word written on the ground. Manshoon, at least as far as I know, is one of their more legendary leaders. You don't run in the kind of circles I do without hearing the name Manshoon at least once or twice.
Shay, make a history check yourself, please.
Sure. That's a 9.
Okay. So the DC is much lower for you. So you do know about the Zentarim. You know that they had some kind of foothold in Westgate, but they were driven out at some point, and are no longer operate in the city.
I know they.
But you do know that they are based out of Zental Keep, which recently, as in like within the last 15 or 20 years, suffered a major catastrophe when Shade attacked them.
Right.
Mhm.
I know that the Zentrum used to have a presence here in Westgate, but they got run out at some point a decade or two ago. It was before I came back to the city, so I don't actually recall what happened. But I know that their base, Zental Keep, got pretty messed up when the Empire of Shade attacked it. As much as I know. I'm not
So,
sure.
Ilmarin, you've heard of the Empire of Shade, but you don't know really anything about them other than the name. And you assume that these shadow people might be connected. But that's only because you're not a blithering fool.
And by shadow people, do you mean the Shadar-kai?
That's what I mean.
So why this dead Shadar-kai would be writing Manshoon's name in his own blood, I'm not sure.
Can I do an Arcana check on the body? Because specifically, I want to see number one, if I can sense any sort of like spell residue or anything on
Okay.
like you know, how an assassin could have snuck in, like if there was magical means that an assassin got in this room. And then the second thing I want to check is if it's possible that this guy was under a compulsion when he wrote Manshoon.
Okay. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
As she's looking at the body, Shay will say...
22.
Okay. What will Shay say?
Shay will say... Callista was the last one in here. She left the room before this happened.
Was involved? That's what you were saying?
She might be. We don't know. I literally met her yesterday. In fact, I met her not a few moments before a bunch of assassins attacked me. And I'm starting to wonder if that's a coincidence or not.
Okay. With that Arcana check, you can tell that it's a little hard to separate the magic that is warding the room from any other magic that might have been cast. But you see that there is some dust, like little filaments of some kind of black material that suggest a spell component of some kind, maybe consumed in casting a spell. And so you're pretty sure that there was indeed magic used here very recently, other than the warding magic. And you do know that the Shadar-kai did have magical ability himself, but he had lost one of his hands, which makes casting magic a little more difficult.
Yeah.
And he was pretty screwed up when he got in here. So maybe he cast the spell that killed him. Maybe not. Maybe a spell didn't kill him. It's hard to say.
Does it seem like he willingly wrote the name? Like,
it doesn't seem like somebody moved his hand or anything.
Okay, but like does the residue since again I literally specialize in mind magic and stuff, does it seem like something where he was charmed or held or
You see no signs of that.
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell, but you don't see any obvious signs that happened.
I'm going to check the pockets and stuff of the Shadarkai to see if I can find the components, like that were involved in the spell, because that will rule out if he cast it or not.
Okay. Yes, you're looking through his pockets, and we'll come back to you in a second because you mentioned Callista, and so we'll go back to Callista and Vane downstairs in the main room. So, Callista, who Shay just met yesterday, shortly before being attacked by assassins, you are on your third drink.
Third drink, and that's when I get the.
And that's when you get the communication, like something has happened, and Shay might be in trouble. You are also like your body is kind of like seizing up, like your muscles are contracting. It's the kind of thing that happens when you need more of your concoction.
Okay. Which I ran out of that, didn't I?
You have a little bit left, like the
Okay.
just tiniest dregs.
So Callista's probably holding that third drink, and then she's bringing it up to her lips, and she pauses.
Mhm.
And she just sighs and sags for a moment before setting the drink down and pulling out her canteen, opening that, and just swigging to down whatever's inside that. She pulls a face, closes it, and then takes the third drink and washes whatever she just consumed down with alcohol.
I was concerned for a moment something was wrong with the whiskey.
No, the whiskey's great. Unfortunately, it seems work's just called.
Constitution save, friend.
I don't need no constitution.
Oh.
9.
You don't have any.
Okay, standing up is really difficult.
So she sways a bit before setting her hand on the back of the booth she was sitting in. Oh. I appreciate the drink and the company, however brief it may have been.
Not to be too forward, but are you certain you're in a condition to go to work?
I've been in worse condition.
Could you perhaps use a hand getting up the stairs?
It would not hurt, no.
I mean, not unless you ask nicely.
Would you mind helping me up the stairs?
By all means. And she'll hold out her arm.
Which Callista will accept.
I want to
Callista.
clarify. I want to clarify also. Vane is a woman of robust constitution. Her constitution save is plus 11. There is no way she could get 9 on her saving throws, right? This woman is obviously quite drunk. Okay. And Callista says, Callista, as in, clearly she's saying, this is what my name is.
Vane. Lead the way, dear. Let's go to work.
Callista will get like this little smile before heading that way.
We're going to work. That's what the kids are calling it these days. Work.
Okay.
Any excuse to go upstairs. I get it.
All right. We're gonna get everybody back together.
Oh yeah.
So, Shay and Ilmarin, you are investigating this body, and the secret door is still open, and you can see Callista appear at the middle of the hallway, along with this raven-haired Shadowkai woman. She doesn't look quite the same as the Shadowkai that you fought. The Shadowkai you fought seemed mostly like just kind of sad and depressed. This one is high affect goth, shall we say. Like, she's here, she's glamorous. She's also helping Callista up the stairs. Like, how much are you leaning on her, Callista?
Based off of the strength of those drinks and the 2 failed Constitution saving throws, probably a decent bit.
Mhm.
And the moment Shay sees Vane, she tenses, like visibly tenses.
Ilmarin, you can feel Shay's tension as well. Like, she clearly recognizes this woman, and not necessarily in a good way.
Because that's what we needed right now.
There seems to be, is this someone who is, I assume, not with the assassins?
I wouldn't rule that out just yet. Shay will walk out of the secret room. And
Okay.
Yeah. Vane.
So, yeah. Shay and Ilmarin, why don't you describe yourselves for Amanda's benefit there?
All right. Shay is a tall for a drow, about 5'8" ish, but also unusual for a drow. Her skin is very ashen, like kind of a very ashy gray, very pale. And her eyes are the color of like highly polished gold. Like they look like the eyes of a wolf almost, like in how they're just the color and how they kind of catch the light. She's presently dressed in very tightly fitted leather armor, and has 2 rapiers belted at her hip, one on each side, which that's definitely different from how she was equipped the last time Vane would have seen her. But definitely she is someone that the Lady Blackblade would be familiar with.
Ilmarin is very obviously a noble-born drow. With just like very beautiful, very regal features, the silver hair, the dark purplish skin, the red eyes. She is dressed somewhat scantily in a series of light-colored silks that also, interestingly, are mixed with sort of like a scale mail kind of thing, but it is, despite being armor, it is very obviously armor designed to move and be danced in. She is also very clearly wearing the symbol goddess Illustrate on her, and I forget, did we say she is really tall? I think. Okay, yeah.
I seem to think so.
I think she's also like, I think we had said she was also around like 6 feet tall or something like that. Yeah, that's right. Because I originally was like, she's like 5'4", and then you were like, no, drow women are tall, and I was like, okay.
I mean, not necessarily, but
Yeah.
drow women tend to be the taller and bigger of the two sexes, primary sexes of
She's
the
like-
drow. So
She's like Kiloway Velador in height. Like that's pretty impressive.
yeah,
So-
she is a noble drow in bearing and in stature.
And she also, despite wearing the outfits one would typically think of as a magic user, if you look at her hands, like her hands are calloused enough that you can see like this knows how to use a sword, even though she has no weapons on her. But yeah, right now her hands are kind of like half rifling through the dead body's pockets. So I imagine she's kind of like looks a bit awkward, like I don't know what to do here.
Yeah. So you come up into the back rooms, which are not like an upstairs necessarily, but just kind of like slightly elevated from the base floor of the Purple Lady. And you see these two drow women standing over a clearly very dead body. And one of them is vaguely familiar. You have at least some memory of seeing this, the one in the studded leather armor with the rapiers before. It
I just
feels
look at
like a
Callista.
dream, like a thing that you only sort of understand and believe might have happened to you in the past. Okay.
I'm just looking at Callista. This is your job. This is work. You rob corpses.
No.
No. Oh.
I'm also curious as to why she's robbing the corpse.
Actually,
Well,
Lauren,
we have something
did
in
he
common.
fight? Did he fight back?
I just got here.
he was dead when I got there. I was
Likely
actually going to
story.
ask you the same question, Callista. Also, I would like to take a sec to point out they did meet each other, like Vayne and Shay did meet each other directly in that conflict, in that battle with the Night King in that one episode.
Mhm.
So,
Oh,
Mhm.
player knows this, okay?
Okay.
I want you to know that player got the backstory. So whatever comes out of character's mouth is character's choices. It's not something I don't know. Just
I was reminding Eric because sometimes I know
Yeah,
he.
no,
I
Eric-
told her.
Eric told me.
Okay.
I got this. I got a very
Okay.
long email.
I told her. Don't worry.
Yeah. So just so you
Anyway.
know, whatever comes out of character's mouth is a deliberate choice.
Perfect. So yeah, Shay will say, I was actually going to ask you a similar question, Callista. You were the last one in here with him. What happened?
He told me the information that I gave to you. And then he asked for Sorrow to stay and, quite frankly, beat the shit out of him. She declined, and we left him alone.
And then you left the room before everyone else. And now he's dead.
To get a drink, yes. If you want to accuse me of killing him, then just say it.
Stop me drinks.
Look. I don't know what's going on, honestly. I'm tired. I'm pissed off. And I'm honestly sick of this. All of it. So, if you say you didn't kill him, I believe you. I choose to believe you. But now we've got a dead body on our hands. And I don't. Apparently, his last act was to write the word Manshoon in his own blood.
Ilmarin has something.
I wanted to ask, did I find matching spell components in his bag?
You did
Or any-
not.
Okay.
Like he had components to cast like a lot of shadowy sorts of magic. He had but like it seems that most of his magic was just verbal and somatic. He didn't really need much in the way of components. He had a component for like a teleportation spell.
Mhm.
Like something that could be used for a teleportation spell.
Okay.
And that was basically it. He didn't have anything that would have produced the kind of like black ashy residue.
And then what is the specific component that I have, or that I
That-
found?
That you found?
Yes.
It is burned up fabric of some kind. which would probably, based on your Arcana check, be used in some kind of invisibility spell or like some other stealth-related spell.
Callista, are you able to turn yourself invisible?
Yes.
Do you do so magically?
Yes.
She would hold up the thing. Is this a component that you used?
No.
Can I get insight just to double check?
Sure, yeah, make an insight check.
19.
Okay, so at my table, when players use skills kind of against each other, I have them roll, and then the defending player chooses what happens based on the result of the roll. So she rolled a 19. What do you think she gets out of that, Callista?
Callista seems to be telling the truth.
Callista, looking at the corpse, there's something familiar about it. I mean, you did just see the guy. You talked to him. He poked at your insecurities and compromised your composure a little bit. But that's not what I mean. There's something familiar about the manner of death on this corpse. Do you want to get closer to inspect it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
While she is doing that, I am walking with her because I don't trust her to stand up on her own. And I'm sort of hatching a plan also, so when I get a chance, I would like a shot at perception to see if we can do the thing I'm thinking of trying to do.
Okay. Yeah, make a perception check.
18.
Okay. What exactly are you looking for?
Basically, I want to know if just with what we have among us and in this room, there's a way we could make this guy look not dead. He wouldn't have to be
We get that
breathing
Bernice.
necessarily. We drag him out of here like he's passed out drunk. And we can get rid of the body that way so that like none of us are implicated in his murder.
It doesn't look that way based
I
on
mean-
what I'm going to say to Callista next.
Okay.
Because I
So-
was gonna say I can probably remove the blood with prestidigitation, but if there's some other
You
stuff going
You
on,
could clean him up, yes.
yeah.
And if we have enough clothing items between all of us to like make him look not disemboweled or what have you.
Okay, Callista, you draw closer and your legs start quivering for some reason. Maybe it's because you've had too much alcohol. You know, that's what you think at first. Like maybe it was the strong drinks that are making you feel this way. But then your passive perception kicks in, and you see that the Shanakai died of a burst open throat. But you realize that that's the exit wound. The entrance wound is at the back of his neck, as though he was impaled on a very, very thick wooden spike.
Give that a moment to sink in there.
How does Callista react to that revelation?
So Callista probably like eases herself down to like kneel next to the body with Vane's help. And she goes, like she reaches like she's about to touch the wound, pauses, and then turns the head to look at the back to see the entry wound.
There is a nice round, shall we say, like 4 or 5 inches diameter hole. Just there's no object, like whatever was thrust through this guy's neck is no longer there, but the wound is still there, and it was thrust very violently through him.
And she just stares for a few seconds before letting the head drop and pulling her hand back, and that hand is like trembling.
What is it?
He was he was killed by having something run through his throat.
Something like what?
Upon closer inspection, you see that there are small wooden splinters that are left in his flesh. It was clearly a wooden stake or a branch, perhaps, that was thrust through him.
And she'll just kind of indicate the splinters, not say anything.
Shay will get a little closer and look at the splinters.
Meanwhile, Ilmarin will look at Vane and ask, oh god, am I writing this down? Do you know anything of this, Ventura?
Zentarum.
And
Yeah,
Tarim,
Zentarum.
But yeah, Imlar might have pronounced it in a weird way.
Yeah, the Zentarum Syndicate.
Okay, Vane, make a history check.
19.
Yes, the Zentarum are a evil spy network that foment unrest and rebellion in sort of like stable lands, partly for financial gain, partly for spreading the power and influence of their organization. They're based out of Zentil Keep. You have fought and killed a few. You have also worked for a few in your time. But you don't like working with them. They're petty and pathetic, but their coin pays well, so.
Part of them want to be their enemy. Don't really want to be their friend either. So.
Are
For the
you
record.
familiar enough with how they operate?
Alas, no. You're asking me if his organization did this to him. This isn't some sort of signature that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it doesn't match your experience with the Zentarum. Or the Gentarum. Some people pronounce it that way.
So, the way I see it, there is 3 possibilities. Either the first is that it was this Zentarum through this Manshoon person, and our former friend was attempting to give us a clue to avenge him or something to that effect. Or this is in his fanaticism, sending us after some other syndicate in order to get us off the trail of his own organization and, have Shay be dropped into the clutches of his friends or whatever else to create further political turmoil and upheaval that they can then utilize for their advantage.
That's a very astute observation that she makes about politics here, and that just reinforces how much experience she has with political bullshit.
Or the third thing, which is that some otherwise unknown party disguised themselves as a member of the syndicate and did so to fool our friend in order to shift the blame onto this other organization and thereby take advantage of all sides at war with each other.
Or he could have just been caught cheating at cards.
Deeply unlikely.
incredibly unlikely, given that we were the ones keeping him prisoner up until this happened.
Oh.
And furthermore, there were not many, if any, who knew that he was in this room at this time, unguarded in that exact moment. That requires a lot of resources and investment on top of a hefty spell.
There's a moment where Shay kind of pauses, and then she'll turn to look at her shadow, and she'll go, "How did you know this happened?" Like she's talking to a shadow on the wall.
Right. And the shadow, you can clearly tell, does not match her. Like it's not moving at the same time that she does. I would like everyone to make an insight check, please, while you watch this go down.
19.
9.
Only a 13.
Okay.
29.
Ilmarin, okay. It doesn't apply to you, Shay. Ilmarin, I'm gonna
You
message
said everyone.
you a thing. Yeah, I did. I apologize. Ilmarin, I'm gonna message you a thing. But generally speaking, the shadow speaks, and you can all hear its voice. It is this low, distant, gravelly. I'm sorry, I'm going to put too much pressure on myself if I describe it any further. It says, "Light calls to light. Darkness calls to darkness, shadow to shadow."
Want to try that again and not be cryptic?
No. Cryptic is my way.
What's gotten into you lately? You used to behave a lot better than this.
You know the answer to that, Shay.
The shadow regards Callista for a second, and then it turns back to Shay. Very well, my mistress.
Message. Shay, that is not your shadow.
Starting to
Mistress.
wonder.
I felt the shadows stir. There was a creature, an entity, a killer that came through the shadow to burn off loose ends.
And what, pray tell, did you see this killer? Do you know what it looks like?
I do not. I arrived too late.
I have a question then.
Of course, my mistress. Of course.
Remind me, how did I gain control over you?
You learned the shadow arts from your lover, Ilra Nathalan, Shadow Fox.
There's a pause. That's not a name I ever told you.
You do not have to. I know you. I know you're mine.
And yet you also didn't answer my question. There was a very specific moment when I gained control over you. A thing that I did that Ilra had nothing to do with. That's what I'm asking. Can you answer that?
The shadow does not respond.
Jay kind of draws herself up a little bit.
The shadow draws itself up the wall, as though in response. And it takes on a form that is clearly not Shay. It is broad-shouldered, muscular, obviously a masculine shadow. Not feminine like Shay. Shay is very well built, very muscular herself, right? But in a wiry sort of way. The shadow is strong and rippling and V-shaped. You know what I'm saying.
I don't know who or what you are, but what did you do with my shadow?
Your shadow is within you. And it surveys the four of you. I hitched a ride. But now that we are speaking clearly with each other, we serve the same purpose. We walk the same path. We have the same foe.
And who is that? Out of curiosity. Like, Shay is like tense. She is definitely clearly holding back a lot of rage right now.
Can I attempt to do detect thoughts on it?
Sure. All right, so
maybe
you
no
start
wisdom.
casting the spell. All right, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Let me just look this up real fast. Make sure I understand how this would work. Meanwhile, the shadow is looking at Shay, and it seems not amused exactly, but like maybe relieved that this secret has been revealed. Okay, wisdom saving throw. I just wanted to see if it would affect an undead creature, but it doesn't specifically say that it wouldn't. So I assume that an undead creature with thoughts is still subject to the spell.
Yeah.
What's the saving throw DC?
Wisdom 17.
Okay. You don't detect any thoughts from the creature. It says, the shadow fox is our foe.
Like, learning hell she is.
Ah, my mistress.
Don't
You do
call me
not.
that.
Very well, Dark Song. You do not understand. You wish to stop the Shadow Fox as much as I, because you want her other self back. Is this not so?
She's like her hands are clenched and trembling at her sides. And she just goes, What are you talking about? What happened?
I will not lie to you, Dark Song. Do you wish me to say this in front of your companions?
Just say it.
It raises one hand and you see it has long, dark fingers that spread up against the wall. The Shadow Fox is the one who has slain these folk. The Shadow Fox is the one who killed the priests, it says the word derisively, in the temple district the previous night. The Shadow Fox is the one who has slain this poor servant of a fallen city. The Shadow Fox is the one who will slay all that you love. Unless you save her.
Assuming you're telling the truth. How do I even do that?
We shall find her, and you shall appeal to her heart. And its hand goes over its own torso as though touching something that isn't really there. And if you fail, then we shall slay her, and she shall be free. Is this not what you wish? Is this not the love that you hold?
Very, very quiet. Still trembling. Just one last question. Are you the one who cursed me?
No. I wish only for your success, Lady Dark Song.
What do you get out of that?
It depends on how you succeed.
Is that a good spot for our break?
It is. All right, cue us up for 10 minutes and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Don't go away.
And we're back. A few minutes later, Shay needed some air. And when I say that she needed some air, she is now perched atop the spire at the top of the Purple Lady, looking out on Westgate. Smoke still rises from the Temple District, where the tower had an explosion and then collapsed to the Great Spire of Suffering. It has fundamentally changed the skyline of Westgate now, which you didn't really think about before, but now you can't not notice that everything seems different now, darker, more real. And
yeah. She's sitting there on the spire, which I thought it was there a statue on the Purple Lady, or is it always a spire?
It was always a spire, but there's a spot. It has tines that extend so that you can actually stand there.
Okay.
Long ago, Shay fought a duel with Illyra atop the rooftops on Westgate, and especially on this spire. And so you can't help but think about that and the dark words that the shadow shared with you.
It's also the place where they shared their first kiss. So this
Yes.
it's a very meaningful spot for her. So she's just sitting there. And she doesn't even I don't think she can even muster tears at this point. She just feels hollowed out. And
There's just too much going on.
yeah. So she's just sitting there, just kind of staring across the city, dissociating a little bit because it's just all been too much.
But the shadow's words echo in your mind that the Shadow Fox is the one perpetrating these murders, and that your quest aligns, your interests align, your enemy is one and the same, the Shadow Fox. And the Shadow believes that you might have a chance to stop her without killing her. Or was it just saying that to placate you? Hard to say.
It's definitely a question on her mind.
You spend a little more time gazing out at the landscape,
Yeah.
and you think maybe you should reunite with the others.
Yeah, at that point, once she's kind of gathered herself and some of that anger and disbelief has just kind of bled off, she makes her way back inside.
The cold winds off the Sea of Fallen Stars are excellent for flensing away your worries and your fears and your anger. You feel somewhat better, but you
Somewhat.
still need a resolution.
Yes.
There's still that heart of fire pulling you forward.
And she'll kind of shadow dance back inside, basically.
Yep. Shay, eventually you just let go of the spire and you swing down and you kind of fall headfirst into the shadow at the base of the spire, which is constructed in such a way as to always have a shadow regardless of where the sun is in the sky. Like somebody made it that way intentionally. And through the shadow, you find yourself back with the others. Now, down in the Purple Lady, Vane, it seems, has a great deal of experience in disposing of bodies discreetly. And you're not entirely sure that she didn't pull some necromancy out of her book of tricks. But somehow, you did indeed weekend at Bernie's this guy, who was killed, let's be clear, by a Vlad the Impaler spike through his neck. You weekend at Bernie's him out of the Purple Lady and then dump the body in somewhere where the cleaner can come pick it up.
Well, see, that's an easy fix. You just gotta put a scarf on him or something. Like, there you go. It's all done.
Put a scarf on him, cast Animate Dead, who can say?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Some sunglasses.
that's right. That's right.
Hats.
Yep.
Of the group, Vane is the one who is keeping it together. Like, this is all old hat. No big strain here. But Vane, you realize that this group clearly is going to need to go somewhere and fast. And you know of a way that might happen. But they need to help you reacquire this method.
Right? It's not a crime. It's an uncrime. It's mine.
That's right. So when Shay returns, Vane, have you brought up this topic, or are you just kind of getting around to it?
No, I'm surprised they haven't started interrogating me on why I'm helping. It's probably it's probably safe to assume that, like, oh no, I walked in on a dead body. I am now implicated in dead body, and then I prove I know how to get rid of dead body, so none of us are in trouble. So, like, that just happened. Anyone who was paying attention, and I don't know if anybody was, and I don't know if this is the kind of thing you would want people to roll for. Anyone who's paying attention to me, when Shadow Fox was mentioned, like, that perked my ears up a little bit. So, like, even though I am pretending I've never seen Shay before in life, I don't know who you are. And,
I'm going to say Callista noticed that, because Callista is very perceptive. Ilmarin was trying to read the creature's thoughts, and Shay was emotionally compromised up the wazoo. But Callista noticed.
So, like, there would have been
that Vane reacted.
Like a tiny bit of a reaction to her name, and so like I have a dog in this race, but I haven't admitted it yet. But, like, you've kind of figured out that is at least a name I recognize. You probably haven't figured out how I feel about her at this point. Like, am I also trying to kill her, or am I also trying to save her? Who knows? But
you know her.
But I that was a name that was familiar to me, and you would have noticed that.
Excellent.
Callista, you're starting to feel a little more sober. Like some time has passed and your body has equalized the liquor a little bit. You are having intense craving for your concoction, though. You only got a little sip of it, basically, and you're out.
So she's
Till that-
probably like in the murder. I want to say murder room, but in the quiet room.
You can call it a murder room. It's fine.
It's the murder room.
Yeah.
She's in the murder room. She's probably
This
like leaned
this
against
isn't
the
the
wall
first
while she
time.
was- Yeah. Well, she's been sobering up, and she looks like she has a migraine. Like the way that like she looks like she's in pain. She's holding her head, and she's just kind of staring at where the body was until I imagine, Vane returns from body disposal, and she just kind of looks up.
I think it would be really funny if Vane looped in Ilmarin into the body disposal, and then Ilmarin comes back looking like shell shocked, and Vane's like, "Yeah, this is no
Fine,
big
yeah.
thing."
Yeah,
Well,
Martin,
I
when you're about them like I need a second person, and Callista's drunk, and Shay is
Shay fucked off to nowhere. Oh, there's
Yeah,
that one.
Shay vanished, and Callista's drunk. So like you're the only second person I have here. You don't have a lot of choice in the matter, but I'm also
Like-
very convincing.
So it's less that she'd be shell shocked given again where she's from and stuff, and more
Mhm.
just like this is kind of triggering.
She seems unsettled and disturbed.
Yes.
No, I just had this image also. I suddenly had this image of I don't hide bodies. I have people for
So as we're coming back in the room, and I notice that Ilmarin is not in the greatest headspace,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lean over and be like, first time.
Not exactly. But it is one of those things
Could've
I
fooled
thought
me.
was the last time.
That's fair.
First time in a while.
Unfortunately, it never is. Death and taxes come for all of us. Sometimes
Vane,
in that order.
maybe you'll be able to tell me, given that Shay's processing elsewhere. Is it common for the Shadow Fox to impale her victims through the throat?
Ooh.
Word common. Just doing a bit of heavy lifting in that sentence. Can't say I've never heard of it. Not really her preferred MO, though.
I imagine it's usually with a dagger, not with a stake.
In point of fact, the Shadow Fox that Vane is familiar with and that Shay is familiar with slew people with a necrotic touch, as in the touch of her hands or, by her preference, her lips, caused significant necrotic damage to a foe. And that was how she preferred to slay her victims.
She prefers a tidier means of dispatching her opponents. A bit of
Which is
method.
funny because that is not tidy in any way.
But it doesn't get any mess on her clothes.
That's true.
It is
That
tidy
is true.
depending on your definition of tidy, and she
Yeah.
does not get any mess on her.
That is accurate. Very accurate and horrifying.
And that is
Okay.
what Vane thinks of as tidy also, is you don't get a mess on me.
Yes.
So we're you, me, same page. Like
Yep. Mhm.
I doubt this was her. But I've been wrong before.
We have every reason to trust a Prince of Shade.
Do we have every reason to trust a whatever just told us what
Well, that was sarcasm.
exactly? It may have been lying.
It does seem quite fascinating how many dark powers are deeply invested in our companion's love life, to the point where they are interested in massacring several factions of people. So many
different entities vying for this very messy relationship.
Allie's about to pass out. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
You know, like
Relationships are messy.
I will admit, like at first I had a little doubts because she looked kind of funny for a drow, but you know, all of this is very in keeping with our people's culture.
Perfect.
A charming culture.
Not at all.
Sometimes the
Absolutely
book's
not.
cover tells you precisely what's inside.
There's no reason I am on surface and not back in mental person.
And yet you found the drama nonetheless.
Speaking of finding things, I understand you may be wishing to get out of town.
Well, whoever killed our friend directed us towards Manshoon.
Callista, are you alright? I notice you are with Ed and
I got her drunk.
yeah, but this does not look like hangover. At least
Very drunk.
But again, not for nothing, but you know, the revels down below were quite. I have seen every flavor of every inebriation and healed quite many of them, and this looks like something different, which honestly is impressive because I never really thought that anything could surprise me.
I'm out of something that I need to make sure that I get soon. I'm waiting for Dana to send someone who has it.
What is this thing? Maybe I can make it.
And Callista will reach into her pocket, like into folds in her armor, and offer that same parchment that she offered Dana that has like the list of ingredients to Ilmarin.
It looks like a potion recipe. Kind of a complicated potion recipe with a lot of ingredients, one of which is powdered iron. What that one really jumps out at you.
You know, introducing iron into your system in this quantity is poison, yes? And not fun poison.
I'm very aware.
And these make you better, how exactly?
I spent some time in the Feywild. And while there, I was given an affliction. The iron is a necessary ingredient to keep the symptoms at bay. It tastes horrible.
Can I do like an Arcana check or something to see?
Please make an Arcana check.
23.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna offer to do one too, but I think you got it.
Yeah, Vane, you can make one as well.
Okay.
Just to see. So,
Yeah, 16. She did better.
with that 23, Cora, what do you think Ilmarin figures out about your potion?
Oh, about the potion?
About the potion and like the affliction
Yeah.
and like what you're talking
Like,
about.
Basically looking at like trying to understand the magical nature of what you've been cursed by, so I can figure out, like, so she can figure out if she can, like.
Because I mean, I could drop some information, but I think I'd prefer you do that.
Well, so the big question is, so is Ilmarin and Vane inspecting Callista as part of this?
I think Vane is probably inspecting Callista. because Vane doesn't have her hands on the actual recipe.
Yeah.
Ilmarin is looking at the recipe and also looking at Callista,
Yeah.
kind of like splitting her attention.
Yeah. Basically, Ilmarin's doing the doctor's thing of like
Hmm.
looking at the patient records, listening to the patient, and kind of like glancing up periodically, like, and going,
And
Right.
Vane's like, iron. I know where we can get iron. Like,
Like this chart says that you have this terrible condition.
ah,
You know what's
We
bad
hate
when the
it
doctor
here.
looks at your chart and goes, "Oh no."
Oh shit! Oh,
Basically,
listen,
that's basically what's
listen.
about to
I have
happen.
lived that very recently.
yeah, it's
Rude. Doctors. Ah.
So I am gonna say, Shay, you appear again outside
Okay.
the silent room while they're basically having this conversation. Ilmarin is looking at a piece of paper, and Callista is saying something, but you can't hear what she's saying because sound doesn't travel outside the room. Right?
All right.
Okay. So, Cora, what do they discern based on those skill checks?
Okay. Well, so for the recipe, there are probably going to be several ingredients that jump out to Ilmarin as like with powdered iron, especially, and knowing Callista's history in the Feywild, this is connected to the Feywild. You know, cold iron is a weakness of Fey. There are several other ingredients in there that are typically like would be suppressants, basically, for magical influence. Ways to negate, minimize, repellent for monstrosities or anything out there. Like off the top of my head, I know one is like Iron Vine, separate from iron, also repels various creatures. So like it's definitely a lot of that is probably pointing to like there is something magical that is affecting her that she is trying to suppress. It is definitely Fey in nature. Exactly what it's doing is not going to be extremely clear based on the ingredient list, but like what the affliction is doing.
It sounds like she's being very upfront with you, that she has some kind of Fey-related affliction, and the potion is to help mitigate it.
As far as inspections of Callista, out the gate, there doesn't seem to be any clear indication that there's anything wrong with her, and there's nothing visually occurring of magical nature, but there is a very, very common spell that's probably not actually hard to notice if you take the time and you're looking for it. It looks like she might be wearing a magical item with a disguised self spell, and that she is currently being affected by it.
I'm guessing that this is going to be beyond like a remove curse spell.
That seems like a safe assumption.
Okay. So
Like
this is
remove
very-
curse would be helpful, but this is a much deeper curse that wouldn't be broken by such a spell.
And then the other question I have is, with my Arcana skill and stuff, would I be able to? Does this look like something myself?
Yes, if you had the ingredients, you could definitely brew this. It wouldn't be too difficult either. You're pretty sure Callista herself could do it,
Yeah.
even without magical training. But with your experience, you could probably brew a slightly better version, or at least be more consistent and more reliable.
Mm-hmm. The big thing that would probably jump out with that familiarity is the scarcity of the potion does not come with the difficulty, it comes with the cost. There's a lot of very expensive ingredients
Yeah,
in that.
like those ingredients for a
recipe.
single draught of the potion are probably 50 gold pieces,
Yeah.
which is the equivalent of like a healing potion, right?
And that lasts probably a day.
So she basically needs 50 gold pieces a day to maintain whatever level she's at right now.
Rough.
Insert commentary on the American medical system here.
Correct.
Oh.
I mean, it's already clear that Westgate is a libertarian capitalist nightmare, but
I'm
I'm
just saying
being
that sounds
especially
an awful
clear.
lot like what people spend on insulin. That's all.
That's right. Right. Very insulin. Okay. So, all right. So yeah, Ilmarin, you understand that this potion is very important to Callista, and that she probably needs it very frequently, and you could brew it if you had the ingredients. And it wouldn't take you very long. It would take you like an hour or so, the length of a short rest to do. You can make multiple draughts during a long rest.
I would basically relay that information. I'm just, again, in that perfunctory kind of like, doctor sort of vibe. Something I could do, have access.
Are you going to volunteer to do it, theoretically, if you have the supplies?
I mean, you know, since it seems legit and like, he like doesn't, actually, let's take it in character. This is something that, that is within the ability of growing from a blessed place. But is this something that you wish to have cured eventually?
If possible.
Then I would like to take your permission to study what has been done to you more thoroughly, because it is possible that, you know, by the grace of my goddess, I may be able maybe remove this curse from you.
And then you need to see it.
I think at this point, Shay will kind of slip into the room.
Which is perfect timing for Shay to see Callista reach for that ring she was fiddling with earlier.
Mm.
Aha! No.
And
What
then
remind us about this ring. What does it look like? What's it made of?
it looks like it's just a very plain silver band.
Okay.
Like she went out of the way to find one that was not going to catch attention.
Okay. Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
So she takes a hold of it, and then she just lets the disguise drop away.
Ah.
The first thing that would definitely jump out is most of Callista's, covered by her armor and her gloves and everything. So most of what you see is like her neck and her face. The patterning of this affliction it looks like a burn that covers like the entire right side of her neck. It goes up the side of her face and it kind of crosses over her eyes. And laced all throughout that are veins of that same malevolent violet light that whenever she uses her magic, that is the visual indicator of her magic.
Like when she drew Elashiel and purple flames erupted from it.
Yes, that exact same color. Her hair, it's not purely black hair anymore. There's a lot of different like white strands all throughout it. And her eye that you can see, it's no longer green, it's also that same violet hue as well.
Okay, so it looks like she has undergone some magical corruption that she was hiding with this illusory magic.
you've been hiding, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Say what you will. At least I tried to be honest.
Did you? Last I recall you speaking on it, you were under control. What happened in the market didn't look like control.
I slipped. It's never happened before. And it will, and I
So you
mean
say.
to not have it happen again.
So you say.
Yes, so I say.
Hey, this is not helping anybody right now. All of us are damaged in some way. Let us not forget. We're getting this out in the open. We're being productive. And we are going to solve problems.
We need to
Okay.
decide. We need to decide then which problem we need to solve first.
Let me do this. And yeah, now that I can see it like more directly and stuff, I would like to do more pro Arcana check so we can understand if.
So you're inspecting the affliction. Okay,
I got
make
a
a check.
21.
Okay. Cora, what do you want to reveal with that 21?
That's an excellent question because I've not really defined.
Okay. I can
So
take it.
that's you. Yeah, that's all you.
I can take it. Okay. So Callista has been cursed by some powerful Fey entity. Like the magic around her is Feywild in origin, and specifically Unseelie Court. You're pretty sure, like the not necessarily evil Fey, but the like darker, more violent Fey.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm quite familiar.
The very chaotic neutral Fey.
Yeah.
And like this curse is changing her, slowly, gradually altering her body to make her more like a Fey creature. That's probably as much as you can determine from your check. You're not sure exactly why. You're not sure exactly what kind of creature it would be making her into. And the potion would obviously slow the process of conversion. It does not stop it, though. It just slows it. And this is a curse beyond a simple remove curse spell. Like a remove curse spell would probably have the same effect as the potion, but which is to say it would retard its process for like another day.
Okay. And then it seems to grow specifically when she uses magic.
That definitely gives it extra fuel. It's like a fungus growing inside her. And it feeds upon magic. And it feeds upon strong emotions. And it feeds upon drama.
Oh, lovely.
Like any good Fae would.
Figuring that out, Ilmarin would just like at squint like.
Who is a theater kid at heart?
Yes.
And there will be a point during Ilmarin's inspection where Callista will just kind of look at her and tap below the eye patch and be like, do you need to see this too? I can't hear if you're saying something.
If you are willing to show me, anything can help. Let me also upgrade my audio.
Okay. And she'll
There we go.
she'll move the eye patch, and she has an eye there. It does not match the other one. It does look at you, but it has black sclera instead of a normal coloration, and it still has that violet colored iris.
Oh, God's above. Do I need to do another check for figuring out what's going on there, Eric?
No, just the
Okay.
transformation is very advanced in that eye.
Okay.
Like you're not entirely sure that the only entity looking out of that eye is Callista.
Ah, okay.
But there's usually an eye patch over that eye.
Okay.
Can I also just take a second to appreciate the fact that Ilmarin says "God's above" and Shay's common curse or refrain is "God's below"? Like, I just,
Yeah.
So
Vane has no use for gods from any place, so she's like.
So I want to say, while this whole thing is going on, Shay, you're looking at that at the blood stain and the message that's written in blood, Manshoon. And you're kind of like consulting your memory about what you know about the Zentarum. They're based out of Zental Keep. They used to have a presence in Westgate. You're pretty sure that the previous Faceless, which is to say the previous leader of the Night Masks, was Manshoon in some way, or like a Zentarum agent. But that was like around the time of the Spell Plague when that was the case. So there's some connection there. But if there are further answers, they would be in Zental Keep, not in Westgate. Okay, Ilmarin and Callista.
Is it for right now? If I used Dispel Magic or Counterspell or something, like, would that help mitigate some of, like, what she's feeling, at least until, like, she can get the next dose of the draft?
Those spells wouldn't do anything. If you cast Remove Curse on her, though, which we talked about, and yeah, you can go ahead and have Remove Curse as one of your spells if you want.
Yay!
When Jen built this character, she took Hunger of Hadar twice, which was really funny.
I didn't realize that it automatically came with the specific sorcerer subclass that I had.
Right.
So because I was like, why is this on here twice? And then I saw sorcerer and also psionic spells, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you know Remove Curse. You can cast Remove Curse, and it would probably have the same effect as a draught of that potion.
Okay. Then yeah, I will do. I'm gonna mark the slot.
And Callista, you gonna let her do that?
Yeah.
Okay. She casts a spell, and the power of her goddess, the flow of moonlight, pushes against this fey corruption inside Callista's body, and it doesn't break it. It doesn't unravel its hold, but it holds it at bay, and you no longer feel the same like gnawing sensation and muscle tightening and the swelling of pain of the curse, as though you had drunk some of the potion.
Callista just like visibly relaxes.
Like her carefully constructed persona kind of like relaxes and kind of falls apart for a second.
Thank you.
Of course. Okay, so we have one crisis solved. Shall we move on to the next thing?
I think I've got the next
Yes.
step on that subject.
Do share.
Vane, can your ship get us to Zental Keep?
Sure can. Get there fast. With a reasonable degree of comfort. One tiny little detail standing in the way.
And what's that?
She's been impounded by the local authorities. Gonna have to break her out. What do you say?
I say that actually sounds like fun right about now.
Let's get the hell out of here.
All right. That seems like a good moment to actually leave off the episode. And we will do the heist to break the chromium out of Hawk. Next episode.
Real fast before leaving anything.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead. Last thoughts.
Ilmarin would leave a little satchel of like, tummy soothing herbs and stuff for Sorrow.
Well, Sarah might be recovered enough to accompany you on the steal the chromium mission.
But she's leaving that for them anyway.
Yep, no, totally reasonable. Anything
And,
else before they go to the order?
Yeah, Callista is definitely going to make sure to get her eye patch back into place and have that disguise back up before we go anywhere.
Listen, an eye patch is like la mode on a pirate ship. Like, you're gonna fit in, babe.
Okay. You can also take a long rest before you go to do the ship thing if you want, or if you want to go faster, that is an option as well.
I think a long rest would be good.
I also like the idea of a long rest.
Some of you are a little beat up. Yeah, it's true.
Need to sleep off that hangover.
Yep.
Mhm.
I did get you rather drunk, that's true. Just
Vane's
keep
like,
drinking.
Vane's like, this isn't exactly how I saw this going down, but this could
Like,
work.
This might turn out better than sex, though, because I still could wind up getting laid in the future, and I'm also gonna have my ship back. So, like, win-win.
Oh, and those
If Callista had a coin for every time that she met with a mysterious elven lady who paid for a very expensive drink in Westgate, she'd have 2 coins, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it
funny
happened
twice.
Yeah, I just want to say those captain's quarters on the chromium are very comfortable. Anyway,
I'm just saying I want to try and come back for the next episode, but I'm gonna have to do it from the boat.
all right. Ooh, that sounds good. Okay, well, we'll catch you next time on episode 7. I have been Eric Scott V, the DM of this campaign, writer, game designer, streamer, and all around a very tall individual. It's kind of weird. I like to tell people in advance of meeting me that I'm very tall so they don't get freaked out. They will anyway, but like, I'm trying my best. I write a bunch of books.
You're tall, but you're charming. You're very
thanks.
approachable.
What do you mean, but? Anyway, I write a bunch of books. Like, there are these superhero novels, Libations for the Dead, Public Enemy, Fallen Angel, that are part of the Justice Vengeance series. I also co-write novels with Amanda Cherry, who's right there. The Femmes Fatales series, you can see a couple of those on the shelf as well, I think.
Right here.
Superhero novels, and there they are.
Right there. I have them.
Sapphic enemies to lovers sort of novels, and they are great. And eventually I will get Amanda's signature on a couple of those books so that I can send them to Allie and to Cora so that you can check those out. And anyway, before I hand it off to Allie, I want to give a brief shout out to the Dungeon Scrawlers Discord. You can find a link in the doobly-doo. If you do !Discord, it will give you a link as well. We talk about this and other shows, past shows, upcoming shows, announcements. There are deals for our various sponsors, like I mentioned, the Dice and the Idle Champions, and our meme game is very good. Anyway, it's a cool, fun community, and during this time when evil is ascendant, community is what matters. So come join us on the Discord. Look forward to seeing you there. Take it away, Allie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alexander Pitchford, or Allie for short. I played Shay, as you saw, who is in a very, very ragey place, very uncharacteristically ragey place. But that's actually been really fun to play. Author, game designer, TTRPG streamer, co-creator of the Grey Mantle setting with Eric Scott to be over one of these directions because I'm not looking at
Here I am.
overlay.
Right here.
And designer who's worked on such properties as Vampire the Masquerade, Shadowrun, Wraith the Oblivion. I've done a few things. I've been around. I've got nothing to promote at the moment, but I will keep people posted as to where my short story Trial of the Black Rose will be showing up. You can pre-order a PDF or print-on-demand copy of the Rising Tides anthology on Outland Entertainment's website. I will throw up a link for that. Because the Kickstarter might have failed, but we are full steam ahead. That's gonna be coming out at some point. So yeah,
that's such a relief because that's a good collection of writers, and I was really looking forward to it. So
yeah, you'll just have to go pre-order it now. But the lineup of authors will change a little bit because we did have some people pull out, unfortunately, as far as I know. But
it happens.
Yeah.
All right, Cora.
All right, my name is Cora, and yeah, for the most part, I played Callista, our face guard ranger, whose scars have finally been revealed. She's opening up to people. Isn't that great? She's totally doing it of her own volition. Work in progress, but we're getting there.
Look, people care about you, okay? Yeah. They're trying to learn about you, okay?
That's when you end up dead. Don't do that.
I just enjoy that like all of these gruff dark characters are just like, what, somebody's like being soft and nice to me and they seem sincere about it. Like, well, okay, I'll tell you my tragic story.
Anyway. Anything else, Cora?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, Jen.
Hello, I'm Jen. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet. SavageSparrow.com is my super awesome website for nerdy apparel and accessories. Patreon.com/SavageSparrow if you want to check out my cool artwork, like the character art I have done for this campaign. That super swell jacket Eric's wearing.
Says GM on it. It's a Letterman's jacket. For all of you in high school who wanted D&D to count as your sport, this is the jacket for you.
Yeah. And it's awesome too, because if you have a really amazing GM that you want to do something really, really nice for, you guys can band together and be like, here, friend. So show some love for the forever GMs. But anyway, tonight I played Ilmarin, who, was mostly pretty sassy tonight, which was delightful. But, I don't know. It's also me, and I can't not play sassy characters.
And confirm.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Amanda.
Oh, it's my turn. Yeah, hi. I'm Amanda Cherry, and I have nothing to promote right now. It's a very slow time at work for me. I am thegingervillain.com if you want to check out my website. at Manda the Ginger on all the social media platforms that anybody is using these days, and some that almost nobody is using these days, because I'm Gen X and we are slow to adapt. Tonight I played Vane, who is like gothy and sexy and taciturn and tough and all of the things that I am not, but she is in her heart a boat girly, which is a thing I am. So
She
like
is.
we found a place to connect, and that is with like sails full of wind. So,
She literally has the sailor's background.
yeah.
It's true.
it's a real thing. So yeah, I was excited to be here, and I'm so grateful to the folks at Dungeon Scrawlers for they keep inviting me back, and I don't know why, but I'm really glad they do. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you all so much.
Because we
Well, the
like
reason
you.
Why? Yeah, because we like you, and
Liar!
you're amazing. And she has also written this award-nominated novel called Dawn Calamity,
that's
which you should
my-
definitely check out. She
Yeah,
probably
she-
has a copy that
I
she's going to show
do.
you right now,
I do.
because
Look at
she
that, yeah.
said she doesn't have anything to promote, but that is a lie.
I mean, she came out last year. This book is almost a year old now, so
Wow.
she came out last
But it
May.
just got nominated for some awards, and you should read
she's
it.
a Deborah Award
That's what I'm saying.
nominated, and she's currently on the long list for the Ursula K. Le Guin Prize for Fiction. It's a long list, though. I'm not making that short
Okay.
list. It doesn't.
This is exciting.
Listen, I'm not making that short list, and that's okay. Being on that long list, like my name and the words Ursula K. Le Guin, like in the same sentence, it doesn't matter if I don't make the short list. Like that's a big deal.
Oh, gee, why would Manda Cherry, award-nominated author, be on the Dungeon Scrawlers channel, which is a writing commune of authors and artists playing D&D together? I don't know.
Anyway.
Thank you for playing with us, Manda, and we hope to
Thank you
have
for
you
having
back. We'll see how that goes. I hope
Listen,
your
it
schedule
is
accommodates.
fixing to be writers drinking on the boat season. Like we are rapidly approaching drinking on the boat season, and so I do think there will have to be some gaming from the boat.
Excellent.
I've done a convention panel from the boat before. I did one of your Star Wars games from the boat once, so I do know it's possible.
Okay. Well, you'll have to see how that develops next week. Tune in, and we'll see you then.
Bye.